Hello there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World. We're in Bruges, Belgium, one of my favorite towns to come see in Europe. One of these cute towns you just gotta go see. Anyway, what we have for you today are the 10 things you should do when you come here to Bruges. And there's a lot more than 10 things to do. They're just my 10 favorite things to do. So let's get started. Now, the first thing you want to do is when you're going, you want to go to the Grote Markt, which is the main square, and all there's tons of sights to see. You have the town hall, you have the Belfry you can go up to, which also has a lot of really good temporary exhibitions there. Right now they have a Salvador Dali exhibit, and there's really kind of cool to go there. You sit there, you go see the town hall, you see the Historarium, you see the Belfry, you walk around the square, and of course you sit and you have your mussels there, and you drink your Belgian beer and eat your frites, which you have to when you do come here. So that's the first thing I like to do, is go to the market square, Grote Markt, the big square, and just kind of take it all in and see the fantastic architecture of the Belfry and the town hall and all the things there. So that's the first thing, which is kind of like 4 things put together. The second thing I like to do when I come here is go to the Heilige Bloed, or the Holy Blood Church, which is actually right there. And at 2 in the afternoon every day, they bring out supposedly a vial of Jesus' blood. Okay, well, it has a little ceremony. You go by, walk by, say a prayer. First time I went there was like 15 years ago. I got to hold it and kiss it, and like I got a big shock when I kissed it. I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. But if you go there and you want to go to a religious artifact, that's one of those big kind of artifacts you want to come see in Europe, is a vial of Jesus' blood. So that's the second thing I like to do when I come here. Now the third thing, we go back on the square, and one of the options you have is to go into the Belfry that you can hear ringing right now, and go climb up the top of it. Yes, it is kind of a hike at like 80 some meters and hundreds of steps, but it is well worth the view because you get a great view down onto the market square from there. And at Christmas time, the market square there is full with the Christmas markets. It's just gorgeous, okay? Now, another thing you want to do when you come here is, one of the things is you see all these canals around town, and you want to take a canal tour. They only take about half an hour, cost about €8 or something like that, but it is well worth it because you get a little background of the history of the city. Also, usually the guides are kind of like part-time comedians, so they always have the jokes about the little windows and all these kind of things. But it just gives you a nice overview of the city and kind of an idea of what things are to get that background. So when you walk around and say, oh, that's the Belfry, oh, that's where the blood of Christ is, and things like that. It's kind of a nice thing. Especially if you have young kids, they like to go on the boats and stuff like that. They go all over town, so you'll be fine finding one, but it's well worth doing. The next thing you should do is go to the Church of Our Lady. In there they have the Madonna, the Bruges Madonna, or the Madonna of Bruges, or Madonna and Child, however you want to call it. But the thing is, it's done by Michelangelo. It's one of the few things that actually was made in his lifetime that we actually left Italy. So you go there, you got to pay like €2 to go in, but the church is fantastic. You'll see the huge spire. It's the tallest spire in town for churches, but you go in and you see the Madonna and Child, and it is like, wow, that is beautiful. Well, yes it is, because it's by Michelangelo. So that's one thing you really should do when you're here, is go check that one out. Now, kind of by the Church of Our Lady, where you can take the boat tours and stuff, there's the Grote Museum, which has a bunch of well, it's like 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century religious art. You can check out, the typical kind of old Europe kind of art you like to see when you're here. And that's one of the things, if you want to see an art museum, you want to go check that one out. And there's other museums here you can see. There's a chocolate museum, and yes, there's even a French fries museum that you can check out when you're here. But the Grote Museum, if you're going to see one, that's the museum you should see. Another thing that I like to do when I'm here is you'll see all kinds of parks and little squares and places you can kind of hang out, whether it's, at a cafe or in a park or wherever, or on the canal with your feet in the water, kind of things. And it's one thing that's nice to do in Bruges, is you can really kind of relax here because they get a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of spaces here. You can stop, sit down, take a load off, and take it all in. And that's one thing I really recommend you doing. And the last thing I think you should do when you're here is take a tour, not of Bruges, but go out to Flanders Field, go out to the World War I battlefields by Ypres and things like that, and see where the trenches were, see where the horrors that happened in the First World War happened. You get such a feeling. I mean, the ammunitions are still coming out of the ground, and when they tell you the stories, when they'd see, the men would fall into the mud and they couldn't get up, and they're like a trapped turtle, and they just get sucked in, the horrors in their eyes. I mean, the stories they tell you, it just breaks your heart. But it's something that, since there's not a lot of World War I movies, it's all World War II and Vietnam and Iraq wars and stuff like that they make movies from, but the World War I kind of tours you go out to the fields of Flanders really is very moving, and you should check it out. And most likely they'll take you by Ypres, which was completely wiped off the face of the earth in the First World War. They rebuilt it, so usually, you know, you go around and you see these stones and buildings saying, oh, from 1550 or 1650. No, these are like 1945, 1952, because they rebuilt it, because the people are very proud of their country here, and they rebuilt it with pride, and you can see that in there. And that's one of the things I just really enjoy about coming to Bruges, is the pride they have in their city and all kinds of things. But anyway, those are just some things you should see and do when you do come here to Bruges. It is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's on a lot of my lists for like hidden towns in Europe to check out. It's not that hidden because it's very popular. But anyway, we have a video of 5 things you'll love and hate about coming to Bruges. Also 5 things you'll love and hate about coming to Belgium, and all kinds of stuff. All on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions. And if you have anything you think we should see in Bruges, please leave it down in the comment section, because we'll probably be back in about 6 or 7 months. So, bye from Bruges, Belgium.